What's going on, guys? I just started using this page here, this Screen-O-Matic, to record my videos. So I just was making a video and somehow it got deleted. Mainly I was taking a look at SPLK. So it's not going to be as good of a video now, probably because I'm going to rush it a little more because I just did it for 15 minutes and now I got to redo it. But basically what I was talking about is just the previous price action of SPLK, and how we have fallen to where we are now, and the importance of this level of 106, and the importance of this level of 120.83 to 121.30. And basically what I was talking about is how the past few times that we fell in between these trend lines, we got a lot of resistance up in this 124.70 and a lot of support at this 107 area. And anytime that we broke above this 124.77 and caught support, we had massive runs up to about 30 to 40%. So what I wanted to talk about was the importance of these levels and how SPLK is potentially setting up for another one of those runs. As of right now, it looks like price action obviously had a beautiful run from this touch of 107 and all the way up, and now broke through potentially this previous consolidation. Whether we go off of the wicks or all of the previous price action, one thing that we can clearly see here is that price likes to maintain roughly between this zone right here. I'm going to make this a zone, and I'm still going to probably make it yellow. And I want to show that how 122 to 120.83 is going to be pretty serious. What we have done so far is we made somewhat of a bull flag. This is the flag pole, and then we made this small consolidation here between roughly 122.85 and a low of 120.84. So right now we have broken finally above this key area right here of 121.30, and that's where I actually entered a trade. I bought on this wick right here that we can see this morning that we had this small price. I was charting this out last night and I was like, you know what, I'm putting my buy order down here, and it looks like a pretty solid area here, as we couldn't previously hold support on it. We chopped underneath quite a bit, but since we finally had this break up, I was expecting price might come back to it and chop in here a little while. Now it's possible we'll get multiple touches of that zone as we chop between this area, and this could continue making our potential bull flag. That's one idea that I have. Another idea is that price action actually ends up holding above this previous resistance area here, which was roughly around 122.20 to 122.70. But right now we can see that the RSI on the 1 hour is slowly starting to roll. That doesn't have to mean anything. It hasn't notched over, but it is rolling. And the MACD, which is going to show us our momentum, is slowly starting to roll over here. We can see the histogram bars here are starting to turn white, which is indicating that something is going to cross, and the smaller this gets, the more chances that you get that it's going to cross. So this could insinuate that this is starting to roll, which price action is looking that way. Now, whether or not we end up just bouncing in between here, like I said, or not, or falling all the way to some of this lower support of 115 or even as low as this 107, that would obviously stop me out of my trade. My stop loss is somewhere down in this range here, below a lot of these wicks, below 120. Really 119.70 roughly. But that's just something I'm customizing myself because I watch this price action enough. I can basically keep an eye on it and decide when I want to close or when I don't. But that's not recommended for everyone. The key things that we want to see is price action pop above 124.77, confirm that as support, and take off. This could potentially confirm a bull flag breakout. If that's what we're creating right here, it's a little too soon to say for sure, but these are my key levels. If we got rid of this potential secondary trend line, it shows pretty clearly that price most likely is coming back to this 122.20. That would be a great spot to potentially buy. with some buy orders down at that 121.30 to 120.83. So hopefully that all makes sense. Basically, the point of me buying this is just for the fact of not only were we consolidating between this pretty much where we're at right now, because if we look over here previously before the big drop, this was the last key area roughly that we got rejected by right here at 124.70, right? So it all makes sense. That's what TA really is. Previous price action history. So this consolidation right here, we had a huge fall. We found a little bit of support, then we turned it into resistance, and then we fell on our face. We chopped around in this range here, and finally we had a nice push out of this main consolidation right here. So we can easily say that price either, number one, is going to come back to this 21.30, chop around between ping pong in here before having a beautiful break to the upside, or completely falls on its face, falls back in, and we get stopped out. But this trade setup idea to me is pretty logical, and it seems like a pretty good gain and risk to reward in my view, as long as we continue above 119. If we can, or if you don't want to buy anything in this consolidation here, because it seems like anywhere in this range is still resistance, then we can make another case that if we can pull price action above 124.77, there's an easy trade to be made here up to 143 for the first take profit, which doesn't really come in as too much resistance here. It's possible price could move up pretty quickly, get a rejection, either come back down and retest that area, get a bounce further up, or have a small pullback after reaching this level and then continue on up. These are my two ideas right now, but obviously nothing can really be had until we make it into this range of least resistance. So that's pretty much where I'm at, and I am in a position, and I will stop out if this does go the other way, but this for now is my idea, and I'm planning on potentially taking this trade to 143 and seeing how price action, ends up. If it slows down, momentum's running low, and it looks like it's going to roll over, I might just cut it here. But if we end up getting a pretty fast move up, and we start flagging out and not going too low, or falling too deep, then I might end up saying I'm going to hold on to this trade up until 166.52. It really depends on your time frame and how long and how much patience you have. Sometimes I'll cut it, wait for the consolidation, and then go to something else and set an alert for a break of this, and then I'll play the next level from here on up. But that's really up to your own trading style and how you'd want to play it. But I figured I'd get this idea out on the table and share what I am planning to do. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed. I'm just looking at the best probabilities here for my money, and it seems pretty logical to me that anytime that we break above this roughly 124.77 to 125 range, we end up having a 30 to 40% rip. And with that being said, anything below this key support roughly, as low as 112, but anything below this 120 area ends up just coming back down to this 107. So to me, being above 120 is a bullish sign, and if we can get above 124.70, then we're really looking for a potential rip back up to maybe retest this channel here. And if we did actually eventually make our way up here, depending on how it plays out, we end up coming all the way up, we could end up seeing ourselves back up into this previous long-term resistance of 225 that I have way up top here. Seems like price action likes to come all the way down here to 107 and rip all the way up to 225. So buying it down in these lower support areas is pretty good, even for a long swing trade if you want to hold it all the way up here. That's just my idea. It's my personal opinion, and that's what my TA is calling for. So I hope you guys appreciate this video, and I would definitely keep this one on your radar here. Peace.